Are you winning, son?
We do a little trolley.
They have total control over every single thing. They pull the strings.
God save the Queen.
Big Chungus sends his regards.
The first international financial institution, and that is the Knights Templar.
Atlantis was said to be created by the god Poseidon. Poseidon had 10 children that came from 5 sets of male twins.
These are some special stones.
How cold is this, though,
Stonehenge, a pagan cathedral.
The megalith builders were using Pythagorean geometry to design their circles almost 2,000 years before Pythagoras was born.
If you draw a line connecting Stonehenge with the precise 2 to 3 point, roughly coincident with Chaldee, you get the following proportion.
And the square root of 153 is 12.37, the ratio of the lunar year to the solar year.
Why would the founding fathers in D.C. and city planners in New York City conspire to link their fair cities with this ancient temple?
This on earth sets us free!
The same proportions as the station rectangle at Stonehenge. The horseshoe-shaped lawn in the White House backyard looked a lot like the bluestone ring at Stonehenge. Freemasonry was a legacy of the Druids. If we illuminate the D.C. pyramid, we are directed to a specific building, the headquarters of Scottish Freemasonry. Scottish Freemasons are really into the number 33. Jesus is said to have died at age 33.
The early Christian symbol, the shape known as the Vesica Pisces, 153 fish, the ratio of the lunar year to the solar year.
Jesus had been a Pythagorean Essene. He would have wanted to come to the source of the Pythagorean tradition, which was most probably in Britain.
The megalith builders were using Pythagorean geometry to design their circles almost 2,000 years before Pythagoras was born. The ancient Greek historians may have known Stonehenge as the great circular temple of Apollo they described in the islands of the Hyperboreans north of France. These Hyperboreans, they said, were skilled astronomers who visited the Greeks in turn once more and taught philosophy to Pythagoras and his followers.
Part-time druid Ellis suggested I try water divining.
That is bizarre.
The druid also said that when the wires crossed, I'd be directly above a pipe.
30 monks from the abbey descended into the ancient tunnels that run underneath Glastonbury in search of the Grail. Only 3 came out. The rest, it is said, were claimed by the mysterious forces of the Torah.
Are you winning, Saddam?
I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun.
The whole object of the thing is to predict eclipses.
All the way across the country, the St. Michael line marks the Beltane sunrise alignment. Beacons and fires were set up at all the peak points across the country, going from East Anglia all the way down to Cornwall, Glastonbury Tor being one of them.
They both look very similar. Boroughmump or Boroughbridge-mump is like a smaller version of Glastonbury Tor, but they kind of align to each other along the May Day or Beltane sunrise.
I'm certain about Brent Tor's origin, that the Christians took over a place of pre-Christian worship.
The inhabitants of that part of Britain, which is called Valerian is Devon and Cornwall, prepare the tin, working very carefully the earth in which it is produced, and carry it off to a certain island off Britain called Ictus. St Michael's Mount is the chief tin exporting port.
Varus the Hyperborean was known as Skywalker.
From Skellig Michael in Ireland, through St Michael's Mount in England, Mont Saint-Michel in France, all the way down through St Michael and Apollo sites, churches and temples.
Two Apollo cults, separated by 3,000 miles, but having a central headquarters in Greece.
All the way down through Delos, Dodona and Delphi, the oracle sites in Greece, the centre of the world, the Omphalos.
Abaris came to Greece and recognized Pythagoras as an incarnation of Apollo. Pythagoras followed the line of Apollo to the sacred Mount Carmel, where in the temple on the peak, he dwelt in solitude.
Meet me at Mount Carmel! Oh, hail!
The glory of fire.
All the way down through St Michael and Apollo sites, churches and temples down to Israel.
Could Jesus have accompanied Joseph of Arimathea to Britain in search of tin?
St Michael's Mount is the chief tin exporting port.
Jesus studied with the Druids.
And they both meet at St Michael's Mount in England.
My Druid is Christ.
Almost like a pagan cross, like a crucifix.
A massive ancient lightning strike left a star-shaped magnetic anomaly in the centre of Callanish standing stones.
The top of Maze How is supported by stepped stones to form an arch, a technique known as corbelling.
Looking at it and making an assumption, you see something like this, you imagine it might be something like a pyramid.
The ground plan of the pyramids was not created in Egypt itself, but hundreds of kilometres away at Thornborough.
The founding ancestor of the Scottish people was a woman named Scotta, daughter of an Egyptian pharaoh.
70% of men in Britain
are somehow related to the Egyptian pharaoh King Tutankhamun.
Using forensic reconstruction techniques, we've recreated Tut's face.
Glow in the dark.
Come on over here! Come on over here! Come
on, coward! The pyramid is also the solution of the squaring of the circle.
The moon and Earth actually fit this diagram. The pyramid therefore encodes the relative sizes of moon and Earth. When you scale the original diagram by 720, here's what you get. The actual dimensions of the moon and Earth in miles. When we lay this diagram over Stonehenge, we see that it fits. The dimensions of Stonehenge match the canonical numbers, but with a shifted decimal place and in English feet rather than in miles.
The 5 and the 6 and the integration of the 5 and 6.
6 divided by 5 times phi squared equals pi. Everything emerges from the Vesica Pisces. It's the alchemical wedding of pentagon and hexagon, macrocosm and microcosm.
The rose and the lily. Igni, natura renovator integra. Through fire, nature is wholly renewed. There are deep mysteries here, very deep mysteries. The crucifixion is an alchemical allegory. Through fire, nature is wholly renewed.
Abracadabra. There's no question the CIA is involved here.
To God Essus.